Hello all my fabulous crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. Welcome to my channel. Painted rocks seem to be all the rage right now. Well, I did something a little different. I decoupaged a rock and added some 3D casting resin embellishments. Stick around and I'll show you how to weatherproof projects like this so you can actually put them in your garden. So if you're ready, let's make a mess. I pulled this rock out of a dry riverbed in my yard, and the first thing I did was give it a bath. It's dry, and now I'm going to give the whole thing 2 coats of Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color cotton. And I'll let that dry for about 30 minutes. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from DecoupageNapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. If you don't wish to see the captions, you have the ability to turn them off. Tap your screen, go into the settings icon in the top right corner, click on captions, then turn off captions. This napkin is so pretty. It's perfect for a garden rock. I'm using the image with 1 butterfly. This rock isn't large enough for the one with 2. This napkin has 3 plies. I'm separating them as I'm only going to use the top layer with the print on it. I'm removing some of the napkin to make it be more the shape of the rock. I'm also removing some of the white background. The less background you have, the easier it will be to decoupage. I'm using a water brush to do this. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. When you wet the napkin, it makes it much easier to tear. And when decoupaging, you always want a torn edge. It blends much easier than a sharp cut edge. I'm putting slits around the napkin so it will go around the rock easier. Some of the pieces will overlap each other, but it won't be noticeable at all. I'm going to use Polyvine Heavy Duty Extreme Varnish as my decoupage adhesive. Any of the Polyvine varnishes can double as a decoupage adhesive. That's really nice, so whatever varnish I'm going to use for my project, I can also use for adhesive. I'm using the dry method of decoupage. I'm laying my napkin down on the rock and brushing the varnish on top of the napkin, starting from the center and working my way outward. This really helps prevent wrinkles and bubbles. I'm wrapping all those little strips I tore around the rock. Polyvine Heavy Duty Extreme Varnish is formulated for use outside. It's waterproof and also UV, chemical, and stain resistant. But please don't let your piece sit in standing water for any length of time or put it in a dishwasher. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of rice papers as well as napkins that you can purchase one at a time. Transfers, molds, modeling clay, stencils, stamps, scrapbook paper, and much more. Over 8,000 products, including a great selection of Polyvine products, which are so popular right now. Several lines of paint, including Dixie Belle and Pentart, in a wide variety of colors. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out on orders over $50, $75, and $125. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address, and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below. I misted a piece of plastic with some water. I'm pressing the napkin to the rock and rubbing out any wrinkles or bubbles that I see. I let that dry for about an hour, gave it another coat of Polyvine Extreme, let that dry for an hour, and now I need to add to the design with some paint. I'm using Pentart paints, which are my favorites. I mixed the color Mallow with Rose, a light pink, but the color still wasn't quite right. It was too purple, so I added just a tiny bit of red, and that matched up perfectly. I'm using a sea sponge to add the paint to the side of the rock where the napkin ended. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. It's fun to see what cities and countries you are all watching from. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. If you look at the pattern of the flowers on the rock, you'll see some white between the flowers. I took a brush and dabbed some white paint mimicking the napkin. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. I added some little green dots in the color Vintage Green to look like the centers of the flowers in the napkin. I'm going to add some foiling to the butterfly's wings to make them glisten. I'm painting on Polyvine Metal Leaf Size, which is an adhesive. It takes about 15 minutes to dry and dries very sticky. Once it's clear, you're good to add your foil or metal flakes, whichever one you're using. I did dots on the edges of the wings and a thin line on the veins. My adhesive is dry now, so I'm going to add my foil. Foil is very different from metal flakes and gold leafing. I'm going to lay the foil over the glue, and the foil will stick to the glue. You'll actually see where it removed the color from the sheet. If you'd like to see a video using metal flakes, you can click the banner in the upper right corner. I'll also leave a link in my description box. I added some black paint to the body of the butterfly and used a fine marker to darken her antenna. I'm going to use glass bead gel to create some 3D centers to some of the flowers. This is a clear gel and has very tiny glass beads in it. Once it dries, the gel is clear and all you see are the little beads. I'm using a palette knife to put a couple of the beads on the flowers. I let that dry overnight and then gave the entire rock a coat of the Polyvine Extreme to protect everything I did. I'm adding a little bit of metallic rub in the color Aged Brass to all the glass bead gel. It'll make it shimmer in the sunlight. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. I made some little embellishments using amazing casting resin. This isn't epoxy resin. Casting resin sets up and is ready to use in 10 minutes, and it has absolutely no odor. There are 2 parts and it's mixed equal parts. Once you put them together, you only have about 3 minutes to get it into your molds because it starts setting up. If you want to see how to use casting resin, I have an in-depth video showing exactly how to mix and use it. You can click the banner in the top right corner to see it. I'll also have a link for that video in my description box. There are some really cute little ladybugs at the bottom of the leaves in this mold. I only want the ladybugs and not the leaves, so I'm using a dropper to get the resin just in that part of the mold. I have some extra resin mixed up, so I'm making 2 butterflies, but I'm only going to be using one of them. If I have extra, I put it in a mold. I'll use it for something eventually. I have a box full of stuff like that. I also ended up making a couple of bees too. This stuff is so nice to unmold. Nothing sticks in the mold and no little parts break off. When you first unmold, the resin is still a little bit soft. I folded the butterfly in half and set it into a cup so it would harden that shape. She needs to look like she just landed on that rock. You can use scissors, a nail file, or sandpaper to clean up any edges that need smoothing, just like you would with clay. Now it's time to paint these cute little creatures. They accept paint just like clay would, but the detail that the resin picks up from the mold is much better than clay. I've actually been using this quite a bit lately. I really like it. I'm working on some great spring projects for the upcoming weeks. I'll be doing some decoupage, 3D air dry clay, and mixed media canvases. I am going to do a series of reverse decoupage clear glass plates with some really different and fun techniques on each one. You'll want to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I'm adding some metallic wax rubs to the butterfly to make her look iridescent. I'm starting off with the color Blue Lagoon and then Firebird, which gives a warm coppery glow. I love to layer my rubs. It gives you a really nice glow and a real interesting effect. All my crafty followers know that I have the need for shimmer and glitter, and this project will be no exception. I really think the bee's wings need to shimmer. What do you think? I'm using Polyvine Glitter Paint Maker in the color Rainbow. It's made to use with paints and varnishes. It's really fine and delicate looking, and I'm going to use it in a little bit of a different way today. I'm painting the little wings with the extreme varnish, and then I'm going to dunk my little bee in the glitter. Isn't that so cute? I'm going to let it dry for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to seal the wings so the glitter stays put. Instead of brushing the varnish on, I'm dabbing it all over the wings. Brushing it could take off some of that beautiful glitter. I'm going to use E6000 to glue all my little embellishments to the rock. The summers are really hot here in Las Vegas, so I didn't think a hot glue gun was even an option for anything outdoors. I let the glue dry overnight, and now I'm going to give the entire rock, top and bottom, and all the embellishments 2 coats of Polyvine Extreme. I'm waiting an hour between coats. This will make sure it's well protected from the outside elements. If you have a lot of rain where you are, you may want to add a 3rd coat. Your rock will be fully cured in just 16 hours in perfect conditions. I'd wait 24 to 48 hours before adding your beautiful rock to your garden. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.